Hey guys, Darcblade back bringing you my top games of 2011 with number 2, Skyrim. Now this was a big candidate for me. I was really surprised how well the game actually turned out. I know there was a huge hype about the game and a lot of people jumped on the Skyrim bandwagon, so to speak, you know, where they have previously not even heard of the Elder Scrolls series before. Now, me, personally, I knew of the Elder Scrolls series thanks to my little brother who got into them very early. He was starting to play Morrowind and then got into Oblivion, which is where it drew my attention a bit. Now, I was put off a little bit by the first person view because I personally like playing my fantasy adventures and melee combat games in a third person point of view. And thankfully, Skyrim has implemented a better third person point of view, which makes the game great to play for me. Anyway, Skyrim, released in November 2011 to great acclaim, produced by and developed by Bethesda Studios. It's a huge success, put it that way. It was a really high selling game of 2011 and won many websites, magazines and other media forms top game of 2011. Now, for me, I should say, the only reason why this isn't my top game is because I, unfortunately, have the PlayStation 3 version, and it suffers from, shall we say, lag and frame drop issues once your save gets too high. This can make the game difficult to play. That being said, this is not with everyone's PlayStation. Some do get away with it, and it should be fixed in time. This is, of course, only for the PlayStation 3 version, which is my primary system at the moment. On the PC and Xbox 360, there isn't really any such problems. Of course, with any huge open world game, there are all sorts of glitches all over the place, but part of that is the fun, I find. As long as the glitches don't interfere with the gameplay too much, it's fine by me. That being said, the only cons about this game are the technical issues I've just mentioned. The story, the atmosphere, the look, the feel of the game are all great in my opinion. So, Skyrim takes part in, well, Skyrim, a region in the northern part of Tamriel, and is about this, well, chap called the Dragonborn, which you play. He comes into the world a prisoner, like all role-playing games these days, and you basically shape and mould his transition from this prisoner into, well, Dovahkiin, the Dragonborn, champion of the voice and so on and so forth. And anyway, it's a game where you can pretty much do almost anything you want. It's a free roaming open world game with the possibilities being almost endless. There's so many quests to take, there's so many little side missions, there's so many people you can talk to, there's so many guilds you can join, so on and so forth. Needless to say, there is enough to do. My personal favourite at the moment is I'm just spending all my time running around finding dragons to kill and trying to learn all the shouts in the game. Dragon shouts are a sort of like secondary form of magic, so to speak. As Dragonborn, you're able to absorb dragon souls, like here, and learn words of power, as they're called. These are little sort of spells that you shout and they manifest themselves in the world. The gameplay in Skyrim is pretty typical of any other RPG out there. Various buttons to hack and slash, cast spells, cast magic and that. Various other aspects of RPGs are in it as well, leveling up, armor, weapon upgrades, so on and so forth. But Skyrim, as all the other Elder Scrolls games, has the unique perspective of being first person, if you want to play it first person. Some people think this is easier, but to be honest, I can play just as well in third person. Okay, maybe shooting's a little bit harder. Shooting seems to be best in first person, but it won't break the game for you. So, anyway, my personal feelings on Skyrim. I was a bit surprised to actually how good it was. Like I said at the start, I was a bit over cautious with it because I thought it wasn't going to be too great. I thought you had to play the game entirely in first person. I thought the bandwagon hype was over justified, but to be honest, now I know why the bandwagon was so big on this game. It is really one of the best games of 2011 in my opinion. despite all its flaws, it is outnumbered by the amount of pros it's got. Anyway, I've been Darcblade. Thanks ever so much for watching again. Subscribe and like for more.